Hey positive peeps, welcome back to my channel Mental Talks with Tiff. Now if you're new here, I'm Tiff and I am spreading, hopefully, awareness on mental health. I am well aware of all the different aspects of mental health and how I've coped and hoping to help other people to cope. So today I want to talk about uncontrollable and unwanted feelings and thoughts. Now, everybody gets these anyway, but I'm talking about more, well, you'll understand what I mean when I start talking, as I'm going to give you examples from my experience with this. So, at the age of 13, 14, I used to think about suicide. Completely, it wasn't I wanted to take my own life. So it wasn't suicidal thoughts, it was more suicidal ideation, which is when you think about suicide quite a lot, but you never act on it, so you'd never take your own life. That's not what you're trying to do. You just, you think, well, if I died today, would it be better? You just have these unwanted thoughts about dying. So that started when I was about 13, 14. Then at the age of 17, 18, I was walking down the street with my mum, and a lorry was coming towards coming down the side of the road by the path, and all of a sudden I got this overwhelming thought of, what if I just stepped in front of it? Would my family be sad? Would it be better off? Would everybody else be better off because I'm a burden at the moment with everybody trying to look after me and help me, and they're really struggling because they don't know what to do? All these overwhelming, and this is happening in the space of like a few seconds. All these different thoughts were going through my head, and I'm sat there and I'm like, what even? This isn't what I want. This isn't what what I want to be thinking. But that is the way my brain was working. So that day I actually went to the doctors because I told my mum. I literally said, Mum, I just actually thought, like, what if I walked in front of a lorry? Obviously my mum was like in complete and utter shock because her daughters just told her, what if I stood in front of a lorry? So that's actually when I first got help. Bearing in mind they told me I'd have to wait 3 months to see a mental health person. Anyway, so that wasn't really much help anyway. Then overwhelming feelings. So I would be sat watching TV, as you do, happy as anything, and then all of a sudden I would burst into tears. No reason at all. I would be sat there and I would just be bawling my eyes out. I've done it in front of people. I couldn't control it. It would literally I'd be sat there and I'd just bawl my eyes out right in front of them. No care in the world at all. Anger, I've never really been able to show my anger, which is another problem for me, because with anger it builds up, obviously, and then I don't let it out, so it just builds up even more. So also with the unwanted thoughts, I would go out of my house. I'd have to have somebody with me because I couldn't actually go out on my own. I refused to. Because I actually became fearful of people. Now, I know that sounds, as they say, crazy, but I generally had a fear of people. So I would have to get my mum or my support worker to come with me. So this reason is ridiculous, and I'm pretty sure that most people actually feel it, even though it sounds ridiculous and I think I'm crazy. It generally is what most people think. So going to a cafe, going to a pub, going to a shop, if I walked in there and someone looked at me, I instantly thought that they were judging me. I used to have panic attacks because I thought that they were staring at me because I'm ugly, because I'm fat. Is my hair a mess? Is my makeup a mess? Oh, have I got something on me? Is there something stuck to me? Have I not dressed right? there were so many different thoughts overwhelming me just from somebody literally glancing at me. It wasn't even looking at me for a long time, it was literally just glancing at me, and I would feel like they were staring at me and judging me straight away. Now, this is a horrible and unwanted feeling and thought that would literally overwhelm me so much that I would go home and I would self-harm and I would cry my eyes out, because I generally thought that these people were everywhere just to judge me. They weren't. They were out shopping. They're out there, you know, having food, having breakfast with their friends. They're not there to judge me. They're not sitting there and judging me. Now, to cope with this, I used to, well, I still do now. I go out, and if they look at me, I smile. And do you know what? The amount of people that actually smiled back at me, I was amazed. And do you know what? It was actually one of a friend that we know. When we were drinking, he said, right, come with me. I was like, I can't. He goes, no, come with me. So we went out and I shook hands with 40 complete strangers. And only one out of the 40 refused to shake my hand. From that day forward, I haven't, you know, I'm not as scared of people. Yes, I've still got some fear. Like sometimes you always feel like you're judged by people. That's just the way it is around, you know, anywhere. So that doesn't make a difference. But I kid you not, 40 people and only one person didn't shake my hand. The rest of them smiled and they were lovely. Now, I'm not saying everybody go out now and shake random people's hands, because it was a bit strange and a bit awkward for me and whoever else was shaking my hand. But what I'm trying to say is, all these people, they're not there to judge you. They're not. It's the same as like when we go out. Do we think, you know, am I judging people? No. I'm there to do something, and I'm there to go shopping. I'm there to go for food. All these things that people are doing, and I thought that they were out just to judge me. Now, I've got to say that one thing that you shouldn't say to people like me, and who are like, Mum, Dad, they're staring at me. Don't ever reply saying, you know, it's not all about you. Yes, it's, you know, you may find it funny, but to me, I was like, oh my God, so am I just being stupid? Why am I thinking about myself all the time? And I started to think that it's my fault and I'm the one that's overthinking. You know, I was then thinking that I'm self-absorbed, when actually no, it was just my brain that was telling me that these people did not like me. Like, nobody likes me. And if they look at you, they're judging you. And they're not. That's not why they're there. They're actually doing their shopping. So now I look back at it, yes, I can laugh at it, but I understand when you're going through it, it's not funny, it's actually terrifying. Like, seriously terrifying, because you generally think that everybody is out to judge you and get you. And I know how that feels, and it's not nice. But I'm telling you now, you need to just go out, smile. Literally just smile at these people. If they smile back, there you go. That made me feel so good. And you don't realise how much of an impact you have on other people by just smiling at them when you're out. You really don't. Like, when someone smiles at me, I feel so much better in myself, because you don't feel judged. You don't feel like, you know, everyone's staring at you, because you smile and automatically people smile back, and it makes me feel better. I'm not saying this is going to work for other people, but it worked for me. And I honestly think it'll work for you. So until my next video, thank you for watching.